I feel like I'm back. I feel like I'm a king sitting back on my throne. I'm back at my mic. I'm back at my headphones. I feel like a heavyweight fighter that's been training, and I'm back, and I got something for their ass tonight,
Come on,
Trav.
fight your fight, man. I'm in your corner, man. We're gonna redeem ourselves from last week with that audio issue. We're gonna have a powerful night tonight.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I got just something I want to talk about, man. I just want to understand what is it with us and materialism. Like some of it, man. I want to go all the way back, but before we go all the way back, how your week been so far? How everything going for you, man?
Man, I had a real week, man. Real life shit. I had a plumbing issue in the crib,
Mm-hmm.
and it was one of them things where you got to be, in the time of battle. And I ran the play like I supposed to run, and every play didn't work, and it kept pushing me further and further out of my comfort zone. But I won, and just at the end of that, man, just knowing I really had a fight and watch my family watch me do some real shit, some real man shit. My baby say, you think you need to call a plumber? I say he ain't gonna do nothing different than what I'm doing, baby. I just got to keep working it. So to go through that and get my victory and do what I was supposed to do, man. I feel good, man. I feel good, and I think that was a moral victory in this season. That yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's beautiful because that little thing that you put on the hose and run down the roof. When I was selling food and I was trapping out of this bootleg house, I didn't even know that existed. I didn't
Yeah,
even know it existed. I didn't know what it's for. I didn't even know you can go down through the roof on top of the roof to fucking blow the plumbing out. So
come
that's
on, man.
something that yeah. As soon as I saw that, I knew what it is. It swells up real big and pop.
Yeah,
Yeah. I know exactly what that is. What you say you call it though?
the donkey dick. Yeah, that's what you call
Okay.
it, the donkey dick.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
okay,
just the
okay.
plumbing name for it.
Okay. Yeah, man, I've been wanting to talk about this week, man. Ever since them Jordans came out, man. And I just seen we still obsessed with this. When are we gonna get over this, man? Sometime I wonder about materialism and black people.
Yeah,
I want to say black men because black men were the first ones that introduced it to our people. Like at some point, some black man had to come home with a shiny bag for his wife and said, "Look what I got you, baby."
yeah,
And she said, "Oh hell, well, we in here now." You know what I'm saying? I was just thinking. I saw this little commercial, not even a commercial. It was like a little skit on Facebook where the young boys was taking the cheap tequila, pouring it into the expensive bottle before they go saw the women.
yeah,
And it's just like such a thing. Like, what is it with us? I remember back in the day when Hypnotic came out, it was like Hypnotic, gotta have a Hypnotic and Hennessy and make the Credible Huck. It's like, what is it with us that we have these trends? Sometimes I believe it's us and our swagger, and then sometimes I believe us and our low self-esteem. Because at some point, man, we got to look up and say, hey, how long are we going to worship a pair of shoes? And why is tennis shoes always been a big thing amongst us? My generation. I just remember when I was a kid, I just always used to tell my mom, we call them Bobos.
yeah,
Jay-Z said, I don't want no holes in my Zappa toes. But we called them Bobos. There was a shoe called Jocks, Jox. And they had like the way the toe on them. We called them fish heads. You ever heard of that? When they call the shoe fish heads?
nah, when you call them this.
Yeah, when the toe on the shoe, you know, Jocks, you know how the toe on the shoe, Jocks had like a little design on the toe, not a shell toe. It looked like a fish head. And if
Yeah,
you had them shoes with them fish heads on it, your ass was just gonna get teased. You was gonna have to fight. You was gonna get in a lot of trouble. And I come up in the first generation. I'm 48, where we're the first generation that was like, "Hey, your damn sneakers mean something." Now I'm pretty sure our grandfathers and our dad is like, you got to have you a fresh pair of Stetson on or some in their era, but it was hard bottom shoes. They didn't walk around in tennis shoes and play shoes. They had
yeah,
some work boots or some dress shoes. But I can remember going back, man, and my mom just didn't understand when I was a little boy what we understand now. Having a fresh pair of sneakers could be the difference in you going to school, learning with no problem, going to school getting teased every day, or going to school and having to fight.
Come on.
And it's like now it's something that she didn't understand, and it was something that she was like, "Don't give a damn what them kids say about your shoes." And as a child, I was like, "But I do. I'm getting teased. I'm getting laughed at. I'm having to fight." And some of what you think is my behavior is me fighting because I'm getting teased. I'm tired of getting teased over these shoes. And after a while, as a boy, it ain't even about the shoes no more. It's about if you keep letting somebody tease you, you start being looked at as a punk. And you got to fight. That's how it was, you know. Maybe I was the wrong type of kid, but you're not gonna keep teasing me. And it's like going to school with fucked up shoes on was just an automatic death sentence. What do you think it is? I just want to wrap on that. Like, do you remember your first pair of fresh kicks? How did your father and your mother feel about expensive shoes, materialism growing up? Delve in that for me, because I want to get an understanding of what is it with us, and like I got to have some shit to show that I'm somebody. We talked about that, but we gonna get into that.
Yeah, man. Like you say, this ain't a long time ago thing. This is our generation thing because, like, it's Christmas time. My dad is 70, my mom in her 60s. You know, it's like when you hear them talk about Christmas, they talked about a bag of fruit, a candy cane. It was about something real. So it's us. Their children were the first ones who turned Christmas into materialism. It's us. We were the first ones whose symbol of love became something material associated with what you could afford. So the spell was really on us, man. So growing up in that, like you say, now my daddy told me when I was young, and he used to let me know, I ain't spending no $100 on no shoes. First $100 pair of shoes that came out was British Nikes. BKs. Them were the first ones. They was $100. And so knowing I couldn't get that, and my daddy let me know, I got a little pride. I know that you ain't gonna wear no Jeepers, but I ain't getting you them. We ain't doing that. So I just learned to have pride in whatever I got. I was grateful that, like you say, I wasn't gonna be the one wearing the votes come from Kmart. I was just grateful with that, man. So, but like you say, the materialistic value came from. That's how we begin to see love. That's how we begin to see who cared about you. What could they buy you? And if someone couldn't afford that, you know, it was to say, you poor, you ain't, you can't. You know, the rich kids that got all the Jordans every time they came out. Man, that was a real thing. So we called them spoiled kids. But the only thing or way to combat that growing up was, what can you do? The ones that really couldn't afford the Jordans, or the ones that really couldn't afford all the material things, we turned inward. We could play basketball. We were smart. We could play football. We could wrestle. We understood being real. And I'm talking about even now today, we understood the things that determine value that money can't buy. You see, when somebody ain't really got that in their soul, man.
Trav, you know, as a school teacher, man, I used to sit back and I used to say all the time, I used to separate my kids when they come into class. You sit over here, you sit on the left side, you sit on the right side, you sit on the left side. And when they get into class, the first day they look around and they was like, why you was telling us to sit on each side? I said, I'm doing a little experiment. And they would be like, well, what's the experiment? I'd be like, this side over here, it's gonna have the best grades. And they would be like, how you know? How you know? They would be, at first they would get mad. How you gonna say they gonna be smarter than us? How you know? I said, because I can look at them and tell. And they would say, how you know? I said, because y'all, I said, they the worst dressed. And then the kids would laugh, ha ha ha. We on the fresh dress side. I said, didn't y'all hear me just say y'all gonna have the worst grades? And there's a positive correlation. The best dressed kids with an iPhone and Beats headphones always are turbo in school. It's like it sets them up to be focused on the wrong thing. And then when you look at adulthood, when you walk around and you look at men that's our age, dressed in a certain way, they lack so much substance. And they don't be good fathers, and they don't be in the house with their children. It's like you can see a certain mindset in those clothes. I'll give you a perfect example. Crook said something. Knowing what I now know, some of the poorest kids had the most Jordans. That's how it was. There was this place called the Pines Apartments where I'm from. It was called the Pines Apartments. We didn't know it was Section 8 growing up.
Come on.
We didn't know what the fuck Section 8 was as kids. Excuse me. We just knew those were the Pines Apartments. Some of us grew up in the country bumpkin woods and on the dirt roads. Some of us had houses with no bathrooms. We had to get in wood. We had a wood stove. So the Pines Apartments to us was like, man, this is where the rich people stay. They live in apartments. But it was Section 8 housing, pure Section 8 housing. And everybody there, even when I go back and look at it back then as a child, everybody that lived there had Jordans. And what I realized, it was almost like they looked up and looked around at each other, and they were trying to outshine each other in the projects, like saying, I'm po, you po. We all know everybody over here on Section 8, but we're going to make sure our kids have the best sneakers. And guess what? They were the best dressed kids in Warren County, and they was also the fucking dumbest, and they all turned to dope boys and went to fucking jail. And I'm saying it live right here on my fucking podcast. Anybody from Warren County can get mad. They know. Them Pines Apartment niggas ain't turn out to be shit. They ain't turn out to be shit. And it was just a certain mentality that go with it. It's a mentality to go with clothes and appearance. Is in a reflection of the inner you, but they also can change the inner you. You see what I'm saying?
Come on. Oh, man, it's real. It's about confidence. What makes you feel confident? The question is more powerful than the answer. Obviously, like you say, shoes, Jordans, when people put them on, it gives them a sense of some type of connection to greatness, the idea of what Michael Jordan represents. You know, it gives them that. I ain't making this wrong. That's real. But this is what I mean when I say ain't nobody above the bullshit. What gives you a sense of confidence? You see what I'm saying? And if you can identify that, and even if it is Michael Jordan's, this is what it's about. We all been there. We all was there, but it's about maturity. There's no value. There's no real confidence in putting on a pair of fucking shoes. So if you could just understand that and accept that to say, well, let me at least examine that to say, that's what it make me feel. And what if that transforms into something else in a mature way? See, I remember back in 2007, this is a real life story, and it's to say to this point. Back in 2007, on Batesford Road in Charlotte, North Carolina, the blackest street in Charlotte, North Carolina, me and my brother Big Stick, he had a store called Big Time House of Styles, home of laid back. It was the time when bootleg Jordans was at its peak.
The $50 J's.
Come on, man. Hey, listen, bootleg Jordans, bootleg CDs. This, and I'm gonna even say this on the political time. I'm gonna say in 2007, from 2005 to 2008, was one of the most powerful times for the black family, black man, black woman in America in the last 100 years. For us, man, we was thriving. So he would get the bootleg Jordans, and he would line it up on the same day that it come out. This is almost 20 years ago, same game. Pickup game, I'm dropping game. So we would get ready for the UPS man to start to deliver that day. And I remember one day the Jordans came out. See, it was a time where nobody going to the malls to buy Jordans. Where nobody going to the stores. It was all in the community. He sold $10,000 worth of Jordans in one day. The UPS man was dropping them off. All you see is Chinese writing. We popping up cases. Boom, we putting them out. They coming in. We had the doors locked where you couldn't get in. We had to buzz you in, and this was for our protection. He built the store with a 3-foot casing around so that we had trap doors to hide the Jordans all in the walls because the ATF, let me tell y'all something. Y'all talking about ICE. Y'all talking about ICE. In 2007, black men began to understand how to really retail to us to keep money in our community. And they had task forces called the trademark teams that was going busting down black businesses, putting guns on people's head, all because we were selling Michael Jordan shoes to each other.
Yep, I remember.
My brother made $10,000 a day. And they haunted and taunted that man so much that they drove him crazy to make him feel like he was a kingpin, something wrong, when all he was doing was selling shoes. So let me tell you something. I watch people come in every day. Every day. I sold my shirts. I've been in the shirt game for a long time. I would print 50 shirts with the same color of the Jordans that's coming out. People buy Jordans, they just want an outfit. They didn't give a fuck what was on their chest. They just knew it was the right colors. I had everybody walking around with my shirts. They say, man, how did you get everybody to buy your shirts? Man, they just matched Jordans. That's all.
Mm-hmm. And Trav, you know they was putting every color on them bitches back then. They
I'm talking about when the see-through Air Force Ones came out. All of that time, we turned that inward. And the American government destroyed that.
You know, they actually sent the military over to China to bust up those shops. They actually sent the military in China. That's how much money Nike was losing. But the funny thing that was sad about it, I remember running a group home at the time. And when the kids would come there, you know, I would tell the owner of the group home, look, one of the ways that kids are going to do right in school, because the kids will always come in from different counties. So I said they have an opportunity to start over at a new school. Not only was the Jordans bootlegging, the clothes was bootlegging too. Come on, man. So what we would do is take the kids to the bootleg spot with about $300-400 and let them go crazy. They get 2-3 pair of Jordans, fresh clothes, fresh shirts, fresh jeans, and they would go to school and they would have a great interest with no problems. You know why? Because they coming from somewhere else, going to a new school, and they immediately got attention or immediately wasn't ridiculed for how they dress. And people don't understand when Deion Sanders said, look good, feel good, play good. When you play good, they pay good. It's something about looking good, positively and negatively. Like I said, as a teacher, I would have kids in class paying attention to their schoolwork, and then the other kids would be over there bent down, lacing their Jordans, switching out strings. Kids would actually come to school and swap Jordans. But the point I'm making is, even in that era, when you look down, you had your haters that hated on the bootleg era. I would hear cats at the barbershop say, man, you know, they ain't even real. They don't even make the such as 11s as blue, orange, and green. They don't even make the yellow, white, and purple, this and that and that. And people was just like, who gives a fuck? I got on J's. I got on the symbol of this man flying through the fucking air. And it was like, when you looked around, you just assumed every pair of J's you seen, other than something that was black and white and red, was fake. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't care. It was like, it's kind of like now you see the sisters, and I asked the sister, and I'm gonna juxtapose this to the J's. I asked the sister one day, I said, I can see the top of your weave in tracks. Not only can I see that, I can see the lace front with makeup on your forehead. I said, do you think you're fooling people? She said, no. I said, well, why do women do that? She said, because all women have agreed that it doesn't look bad. We don't care what y'all think. I said, are you serious? She said, amongst women, as long as you got on a dope lace front, that's a status, and we don't care what the men think about it. So in the very same way, there was a time where we all wore fake J's, and we didn't care what nobody think about it. It was like we just knew, hey, you got on the $50 J's, and we didn't care as long as we had them.
Let me tell you about, I want to talk about fake now. This is another real life thing, right? Back around that same time, 08, 09, gold reached one of the highest points in the history of gold. If you had gold, everybody sold their gold because you made 4 times as much as you paid for the gold. Now, this going into materialism. From the time I was 20 to I think I was around 30, 34, something like that, I wore 115 grams of gold on my neck. I never took it off. For 10 years, I never took it off. It was a big old chain. And I really felt like this gold chain done something to me. Oh, I say, man, you know, I was getting all into the knowledge. Man, this thing do something to my spirit. But I lost my job and I went through some things. And I'm sitting here with 115, 20 grams on my neck and gold at a highs. I remember when I bought it, I paid $900. My uncle is a gold dealer. He said, I'll give you 46 for it right now, Trav. Boy, I had to take it off my neck as a father. And I'm going to tell you some real shit, dog. I knew right then. He said, man, in order to get this necklace back, you see what I'm giving it to you. You see what it's worth. He said, so you got to think about it. If you ever want a necklace like this again, it's going to cost that much.
4 times what you paid for.
And gold ain't went down. So when you understand real life and how real life works, you ain't got to understand what real and fake is. Got people wearing big chains saying they're real. Come on, man. It's a whole lot. It's an order of operation in life. And you can't get out of order. If it's out of order, it ain't real. So just through gold, man, we done accepted the fake because we don't understand the game about real. You see how that work, man?
Oh, yeah. This brother, Christopher Mayfield, he started me on my rant. He said having a nice shoe game was definitely a claim to fame for a young man if he didn't play sports, have a cool personality, or handsome. And that's just what I believe a lot of it is. It's like some of us feel like somebody and some of us are trying to be somebody. And if we look at you hard, we can damn near tell who you're trying to be. We can tell if you like them Jim Jones pants. We can look at you and see if you like them sparkly shoes. We can look at you and tell what you like. So it's a situation where I believe wholeheartedly, if we did an experiment and we brought men into the room and we separated them by how they dressed and what they had on and their name brands and their labels, I believe we can go up to each person and say, write your accolades down on a sheet of paper. Or what are you proud of? You show me a nigga that's dressed to the teens, to the nines, with all that shit on, I guarantee you he won't say none of the stuff we would say. Yeah. I guarantee you he won't say, man, shit, when I was in school, I was smart. When I was in school, I was an athlete. I was in the band. I won the storytelling contest. Man, I'm a good father. Man, I'm a good husband. Man, I'm a coach. I guarantee you he won't have nothing to say. Hey, bro, a fresh guy, a guy that's fresh. I see how fresh you are. Hey, bro, tell me something that you love about yourself. He'll sit there and look at you like this. Huh?
Yeah. Let me.
He ain't got no accolades. I remember, who was it? I ain't mean to cut you off. Mike Tyson was on a podcast, and Mike Tyson asked Boosie, he said, why you wear all that gold like that, such and such? And Boosie was like, I don't know. Mike Tyson was like I know, because you ain't never had no trophies. Mike Tyson told Boosie that.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson looked Boosie dead in his face, and guess what Boosie said? You know what? Man, you right, dog. You right, dog.
Yeah. Let me say this, man, and this ain't something I believe, this is something I know. I ain't gonna make somebody who likes shoes wrong. Like I say, everybody got a thing.
Oh no, I'm not either.
And I'm saying this to say, if a group of men in a room and you can be the one who got everything on, Masiago, Farago, Abashiago, you could be in the room with Walmart. This is what I know. It ain't about what's on you, it's what's in you. And I've met some raw brothers that got style, that got money, and they show it. But that don't make them. They raw. And I've met some that hide in that and hope you would assume they raw. Like I say, I don't wear nothing but my shirt every day. And I'm talking about for the last 18 years, every day of my life. And when I put on a brand new shirt and I transform, it ain't a motherfucking thing you can buy that's fucking with me. So that's what's in me. And if you in a room and that's in you, dog, this is what I know. I promise you what you got on don't matter to real people, real men, even real women. I promise you what you got on don't matter when something real in you.
Man, that's so amazing, like you said, because my grandfather used to always say, man, when you get paid, buy yourself something if it ain't nothing but a new pair of drawers. That way you know you work for something for yourself. That's what my grandfather always said. He said he didn't feel like men bought themselves or nothing. So one thing my granddaddy used to have was a lot of fucking handkerchiefs. So when my granddaddy get paid back in the day, a handkerchief used to cost about $4 or $5, a nice colored handkerchief. And he really was one of these old men that walked around and pull that bitch out his shirt and blow his nose with it. Yeah. And it was so irritating to me because I was like, he just blew his nose with that and put it back in his pocket. You know what I'm saying? He'll sneeze in that bitch. Put that bitch right back in his pocket. And it was so irritating. It was so nasty to me. But he will always get himself a little handkerchief. So my thing is this. Whenever you see me, 90% of the time, I'm going to have on a black shirt from Walmart, George. You get goddamn 6 T-shirts in a pack for $20. And I just love them. And I be so crispy in my black T-shirts. But the thing is, in a pack of 6 T-shirts, you get 2 black ones, 2 light gray ones, and 2 dark gray ones. So I wear my black ones, them my stylish ones. Yeah. And then I wear my light gray to work out in, and then I wear the other ones to work. So when you see me, I normally got on a new black George T-shirt, and I feel so fresh and crispy in it, and it's my thing. It's my thing. It's like Lisa Ray used to wear nothing but white. That's her thing. And I'll never forget. I don't know if you remember Charles Coleman in Black Brilliance. Yeah. Charles Coleman and brother, I still share his stuff. Civil rights attorney. When I first went to New York, I was the only one from the South on there. Everybody else was from New York. Yeah. And boy, they having a dress contest. And I used to always joke, and they would be like, don't come up here wearing that Walmart, because, I always say I shop at Walmart. I went right up there with the Walmart outfits, Walmart suspenders and everything. And when it was all said and done, we used to joke, and they would be like, country boy, country bumpkin. And I said, yeah, y'all got all the monogram, cufflinks, and all this shit. And when the series came out, I was the most popular nigga in the series. When we would tour the country, Charles would always call me and ask me to come. And then it would get to the point where we was on Ebro in the morning, what was it? Roland Martin show, Huffington Post. When we started going these places, and it started being saying, well, why you always getting Clark to come? He went on this, and it was like, hey man, the people want to see him. I end up being the #1 nigga in the Walmart outfits. Everybody else got on scarves and shit, ascot, back ties and shit. I'm the number one nigga in the Walmart with my sleeves rolled up. And that's what's so hard for them to understand. It got to the point where I reversed the joke. Where they would say, oh, man, go ahead. Well, I said, oh, look at him. He got on his monogram cufflinks. He got on his ascot. He got his Dapper Dan grease in his head and all that, and still can't fuck with me. And that's what people don't understand. Your personality. Your personality is a projection of your personal reality. Like if you take the word personal reality and personality, it's the same thing. So what you have to understand, how you walk around is reflective of how you see yourself, your personal reality. So I don't think I need all that stuff. Sometimes when I look at my guy, Charles Coleman, and I'll see he'll do like a photo dump. You know, it's fall, it's time for layers and this cologne and this. I look at that shit and that shit is so fucking corny. And it's so fucking lame to me. But that's his thing. I can't knock him. But to see a man get up and say, hey, hi, everybody, y'all. I want to be getting ready with me. He filming himself. Look, guys, I'm going to put on this with this. I got on the green with the purple. I got on the purple with the green. And it's because it's the fall. It's time for a scent with these nose. And I just be like, that's a fucking woman to me. Get ready with me. You ever seen those shits where the men get up and say, get ready with me? And they put on their little lotion and I got my beard oil. I said, that shit looks so fucking stupid to me. But I ain't knocking nobody. Clearly someone that is obsessed with materialism and they think that shit means something. Now, don't get me wrong. My guy, Charles Coleman, he's a fucking civil rights attorney. He be on MSNBC. He's all over the place. He's killing the game. But I always joke him. I say, you and them goddamn clothes, man. Shit. I got my all his glasses got his initials on them and shit. I said, man, what are you trying to do? What is all this for? But hey, like I said, I ain't knocking nobody. It's just so fucking stupid to me. I got on my autumn scents. That shit is so corny to me, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, man, I think at the end of the day, that just goes down to it's different kind of people, man.
Yeah, it's definitely is.
I ain't that kind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I say, I can't dig it. You know, like my granddaddy told me, he say, look, son, you might not have on the most expensive and you might not have on the best, but just make sure it's clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean?
Make sure it's clean. But you know what, Trav? I see it all the time. You know, one of the highest growing populations of homelessness is young black men. They coming out of these group homes. They coming out of foster care. They aging out of Medicaid. And they've been on these medications their whole life. Now they wigging out in the streets. And when you see them, you could see them. I've seen cats with the same outfit on. And you can see they got one pant leg pulled up and they got the shoes twisted and tied a certain way. And it's like, boy, you wear that same outfit every fucking day and it's dirty. Excuse me. And it's dirty. But I guarantee you he wearing that bitch every day like it's brand new. Like I remember when one of the only fads I first got on was when Tim's came out. When I was in college, I went and got me a pair of Tim's. And I remember getting clowned because I ain't tie them up the right way. Man, you got to let the tongue flap over and put the shoestrings behind the tongue. Tuck your pants behind the tongue or some way so the tongue look like it's hanging out your mouth like a puppy dog. And I was just like, but I don't want to wear mine like that. I like to wear mine like this. I like to pull my pants all the way over the shoe. I like no, man, you ain't wearing them right. And it's a situation was like, I said, well, why I ain't wearing them right? Then the guys from New York started breaking it down. Well, these look like the constructions, but they got the brown leather. This leather a little thick. This sole is a certain way. So you got to pull your pants up and flap the tongue over so they can see that you got on the right kind of Timbs. I'm like, all these motherfuckers look like goddamn peanut butter Timbs to me. They like, no, them the ones that we call them the butter, the nothing. And it was just like, wow. So Timberland literally was making like 4 pair of the same shoes with just a little variation because niggas was like, this is the one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like I said, I don't knock nobody, but when it comes down to your finances, see, my thing is this, like I said on my Facebook page, if you're a 40-year-old man with a family or without a family, you got your shit together and you want to have a sneaker fetish, cool. But what you're doing is a lot of people following your lead.
Come on.
And you got the fucking sneakers in the closet in the special box with the light shining on them and the God napkin on them. You know what I'm saying? But this kid out here, he can't afford to do what you do. He can't follow your lead like that. And some kids are robbing, stealing, and killing. And let's be real. Jadakiss said it. No, Styles P said it. Something I've been saying for years, and everybody looked at me like I was crazy. But once D-Block said it, people admitted it. D-Block said this. Most of us that sold, how you know how them niggas from the Lock Dog, you know, Jadakiss said, come on, man, you know we sold dope because we ain't want to wear them Zapatos. Yeah. Most of them niggas sold dope purely for sneakers. And since 1983, Michael Jordan has been the object of our affection. And niggas sold dope to get Michael Jordans. Man. Niggas robbed to get Michael Jordans. Niggas feel good. Man, and listen, in Richmond, they was hitting niggas in the knee, taking shoes off people's feet one summer when I was up there. My cousin was like, what kind of shoes y'all? Y'all ain't got no J's, do you? We can't wear our J's over here. They taking niggas, hitting niggas in the knees, taking the shoes off the feet. And that's why I don't like that shoe, man. It's just a symbol. And then another thing that makes me so upset. Wait this. It's the cheapest thing that you can buy as a status symbol.
Yeah.
Like, can we make the status symbol go up to a couple of $1,000s now?
Well, let me say this, and this some real life shit. Like I say, I could talk about what ain't, but I'm gonna tell you what is. I remember just thinking I couldn't afford Jordans. And you can really, just like now, I can't afford them. But you can really afford whatever you want. But that ain't worth even thinking about if I can afford them. The fuck is them, right? But I'm saying, even as a child, man, I ain't getting no Jordans. I worked at McDonald's. The dope boys wanted Jordans. The dope boy, and I'm gonna always tell the story because this real life shit. I remember my daddy told me, hey, get your McDonald's check. Let me see it. I had to show him. I ain't make but $120. Keep $20. No, daddy, why? Put it in the bank. He gave me principle. Fuck Michael Jordans. But I was 16, who got an old car, who said, man, daddy, can I have this car? He said, yeah, what you gonna do with it? I said, I'm gonna hook it up. He say hi. I said, you've been making me put my money in the bank, so I got a paint job, got some rims, got a system. I'm riding around way more than a motherfucker in Jordans could ever even imagine. I'm riding like a real dope boy. And I work at McDonald's, only because I ain't give a fuck about Jordans. So I ain't knocking Jordans. I ain't knocking the feeling that you get from it. But if your feeling stops right there, and it ain't nothing bigger than that supersedes that feeling about you feeling like somebody, you better grow your motherfucking ass up. There ain't no other way to say it.
You know, and I was gonna get to the bottom line like you. You just got to the bottom line.
60-year-old man who feel like any goddamn brand makes you feel some type of goddamn way. I hope your children and a woman somewhere make you feel confident when you know they can depend on you, and you can't put that on.
You know what, Trav? We just get to the bottom line with it.
Bottom line.
When I made my statement about Jordans, this dude came on my page. He said, why does it matter what people wear? Let people be who they want to be. You know what I said to him, man? Cut this shit. You know good and goddamn well this Michael Jordan tennis shoe has been a symbol of status that we have robbed, killed, and sold dope for. You know it's not good for our community. It shows that we got $300-400 and we can get up all synchronized at 3 o'clock in the morning and wait outside in the cold, and then we stand in line all day and we fight over them and we won't go to the PTA. So let's just be honest and stop acting like we don't know what this shoe has done to our mentality as a race. Everybody want to be innocent. Man, why I can't just have a shoe fetish? You can, motherfucker, but don't act like you don't know what this shoe is. Don't act like you don't know what this fucking shoe is. That's the problem with black people. We always want to sweep some under the rug and act like we don't know what this shit is. Like the other day, we talking, and my guy talking about some Casamigos. And I said, man, bitch is like Jose Cuervo, man. He talking about, no. I say, hey, man, I listen, man, let me tell you something, bro. I said, I ain't trying to be funny. Every time I have been around some women since I was in fucking 19 years old, I got a bottle of Jose Cuervo tequila for the women. Them hoes drunk that tequila and we fucked. I ain't never heard of no fucking Casamigos and all these new brands, man. I'm an old school G. Hoes like Jose Cuervo. You can't go wrong with Jose Cuervo. Yeah. But for some reason in our mind, Alizé, get us some Alizé. Then it went to Hypnotic. Then it went to Nuvo. It's like all these certain niggas. It's like, do you realize how you jumping through hoops? You switching your brand. You're changing up. You're doing all this changing up for the times when, man, hoes just to be cool with some Jose Cuervo. I promise you, you think you got to get that Casamigos so much to the soul, you buying cheap liquor, pouring it in a nice bottle to fool some goddamn women. And if you fool them, are they really the type of women that got the taste that you thought they had any fucking way?
Man, hey, look, I'm going to go back to the shoe game. They had an athletics warehouse, right? And they had all their shoes on the table. And you could go there and find some old retros. And sometimes they would be from either $9 to $30. And I remember one time they had some old school Chucks with the bonk bonk on them, just the symbol, and they had different colors. And they was like $10.99, and I bought all of them. And I remember I wore them. And everybody was like, God damn, boy, you got them throwbacks. Where you get them from? And I thought everybody was fucking with me at first, right? I'm like, they goddamn picking on me or saying everybody keep talking about my shoes. But I had to catch on like, I really done made these shoes cool. You see what I'm saying, man? And I realized at that moment, and this real hero shit, your reality, like you say, your reality, man, is your movie. It's your perspective. Is if you ain't the main character in your own mind, then you will try to be, wanna be, and get anything done to you just to be any goddamn thing.
You'll get a little rotted.
If somebody else is the main character in your movie and you see them with Jose Cuervo and it look like the girl say, ew, it's Jose Cuervo. So now in your mind, boy, I got to go get that Cuervo. That Cuervo made. It wasn't the Cuervo. He could have had Suevo. She didn't give a damn because she liked him. That's the sauce. That's the sauce. It's either this or that or this or that. God damn.
And Trav, the thing that fucked me up so hard, look at the Jordans. We'll jump to the same Issey Miyagi. It was one year that all I heard was Issey Miyagi. I got on that Issey Miyagi. I got a song, and my song I said, how that shit go? I said, I ain't never bought a bottle of cologne. These bitches like my pheromones. They like how I smell. But have you ever noticed the shit that black men will do that will typecast us and wonder why we stereotype? I'll give you a perfect example. Why do black men always go by the car that the police drive? That's so crazy to me. I've that Caprice, man. That Caprice, man. We got to get that Chevy Malibu. Nigga, you want the cop car? Now we riding around in Chargers. The same cars the cop drive. Young black men, and they come up and they and look, now watch this when I said mentality about them Jordans and how nigga make a nigga act. Those Chargers, I'm at the light. Pull up beside me, scare the fuck out of me. From light to light. They dodging in out of traffic. No, serious. It's a certain you laughing, but ain't that what they do?
No, but look, let me tell you this. This is some deep shit. I got put up on this about a month ago on this. The illusion. They be women driving these Chargers. These Chargers cost $50,000. Man, ain't nobody got the credit. Man, it's women. They be dark and tinted. Pay attention. Man, them real raw studs that got the control of power that make you think I'm a man behind me. And he got them women in these cars, man. This some real shit, man.
And Trav, I would get so mad because every time I see a Charger, especially that little regular cheap gray one, I think it's the police. Now, you know, I be riding down the road. I always got me a little joint in my car with me tapping on them. Well, I got a half a joint I didn't tap, and I'm riding down the road tapping my joint. And all of a sudden, I look behind me. Oh, shit, I just straightened up, put my joint out. It's a great Charger. And all of a sudden, I get to the light. This motherfucker pulled beside me smoking a blunt with cornrows, bopping. I said, why the fuck do we go out here and get the same goddamn car for status and not realizing the Dodge Charger, the cheapest fucking car you can buy, to act like you something? And then we had a nerve to break those down in levels. Oh, he got the ST. He ain't got the SRT. Oh, he ain't got a Hellcat. It's the same thing we do with the Jordans. I see them all the time. He got it on the Mexican Jordans. Oh, he got on the old Jordans. Oh, he got on. And it's like we're categorizing stuff. It's like, get some gold, motherfucker. Buy a house. It's like back when you remember when Coach and Michael Kors got big. You know what happened? It's the same thing when them bootleg Jordan was out. There's always a fallout after something. When them bootleg Jordan was out, guess what was out? Bootleg pocketbooks. And woman was walking around with a Prada, a Gucci, da. And then when they went over to China and went up to New York and bust that shit up, guess what became popular? Coach, Michael Kors. Why? Because it's the cheapest thing you can buy that we know you ain't had the bootleg. So we went from Donatelli, cheap bootleg shit to now every woman got a Coach. Well, you know this Coach is $200-300, or this Michael Kors is $300-400, and I ain't had the bootleg that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like what I realized, no matter how we cut it, we are always emulating somebody. Mm-hmm. So you damn near can look at a man and say, hey, man, you like Future, don't you? How you can tell? What you mean how I can tell? You 50 years old and you looking just like Future, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I see grown men walking around with the Pooh Shiesty. We call it a Pooh Shiesty mask, a Robin mask. Grown men walking around with their fucking eyes, just their eyes showing like they're a Muslim with the mask on, and it ain't even cold. Yeah. So what we do is we pick up on the worst shit. We gravitate to the worst shit. There was a time where I know if my granddaddy would have came home, said, Louise, I got you a pocketbook. She just smiled and got happy. And then the next question my grandma was going to say, how much it costs? And then my granddaddy said, oh, I paid too much for this. No, take that back, Alec. Back then, the mortgage might not have been $70-80. Amen. Why would you pay for the amount of a pocketbook that's your mortgage? That's what people don't understand. There are people out here buying stuff that cost a mortgage. Think about that. Get on the plane and go somewhere. Get on the plane and see some. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but we know, and let's stop trying to act like that Jordan shit. You remember when the Malcolm X jackets came out and people was killing over them?
Yeah.
Ain't this Malcolm X? This supposed to be a symbol of hope. No, nigga, give me that goddamn Malcolm X before I blow your head off.
Let me make this point before we get too late about Jordans and this real life shit. I think it was Trick Daddy and some of the other celebrities that has had the money to really be shoe heads and collectors, right? And it's a thing going around now where they pulling out their Jordans from the first generation and they crumbling and they falling apart. And they saying, man, wear your shoes, wear your shoes. See, anything out of order has a malfunction. Let me tell you something. I work in manufacturing. There are specifications and things that goes into producing a product. They ain't designed to sit nowhere. They're designed and engineered for the durability of sports in a time frame. Everything has a time frame. So this whole order of, man, we saving them, this don't exist nowhere logically in the creation, in the whole existence, from the idea of the science of a shoe. It's ever been made to last 20 years for fucking nothing. So our illusion of value has no real life. It's only bullshit that has been cultivated in our emotions of looking for love in all the wrong places.
Wow. Wow.
You gotta know who matters and what matters to them. And let me tell you something, rich man and poor man. When you know who matters and what matters to them, life and love become easy. And you might realize you've been spending a whole lot of extra money on a pocketbook. But that ain't never really mattered. What she wanted is your attention.
Hey, man, that's so crazy because my wife, she's a pack rat. She keeps everything. And if it's something she paid some money for, she keep it. And she'll wear it from time to time. A couple of years ago, she was like, I'm going to pull out my old Prada shoes. And we was walking and the heel fell off that bitch while we was walking. And then when we got back home, she looked at the other ones. They was dry riding in the closet. And she was like, wow. And she was like, I just didn't realize. And I was like, damn, who knew shoes? But it ain't made. It's like a house, Trav. If you live in a house, that house good. Stop living in the house. Just stop living in a house. That bitch is gonna go to shambles.
Nature gonna take it back.
Yeah, so it's like a car. You can have a brand new car. You sit that bitch out in the yard. Them tires gonna dry rot after a while. Them tires supposed to be driven on. They ain't supposed to just be sitting there. But I want to say something. The word ascribe value. That's what we as black people do. We ascribe value to things. That means that's the value that we place on things. And we ascribe more value to things than they really worth. Now, let me give you some game. In the 1950s, think about this. This is how history, I love history.
Yeah.
The tennis bracelet, right?
Yeah.
In the 1950s, anybody that got married before 1950, I don't care how rich they was, they ain't got nothing but a gold band.
Yeah.
Diamonds didn't have no value. Diamonds didn't have no value. Diamonds have ascribed value. Diamonds don't do anything. Gold is a conductor of electricity. Gold is palatable. It's a metal. Gold and silver are real materials that can be used. A diamond is just a shiny rock. Just a shiny rock, no different than quartz, no different than topaz, no different than anybody's little simple birthstone. It has no value, but we ascribe value to it because a marketing blitz came out where this woman had a diamond and they said diamonds are a girl's best friend. So they said, well, let's put diamonds on engagement bands, on these plain old motherfucking gold bands. That wedding ring, that plain old gold ring. They said, let's pop a diamond on top of it. and women went crazy. The value of diamonds went up more. It was a tennis player. I think her name was not Billie Jean King, Chrissy Everett. You can look this up. You can Google it now. That's why they call a diamond bracelet a tennis bracelet. She was out there playing, and somebody had given her one, and she was playing in it. And when it fell and broke during the court match, they stopped the match. She stopped the match for over an hour looking for the diamonds in this bracelet. So they said, wow, at the Wimbledon, this bracelet is so valuable. What was on this bracelet that made her look so long? They thinking it's sentimental, something her mom or her grandma gave. She was like, no, it was diamonds. So the value of diamonds went up because of because of the tennis bracelet. And to this day, they call that diamond little bracelet a tennis bracelet because a tennis player took the value up of it. So right now, we walking around not realizing tomorrow somebody can say, fuck diamonds, and the value of a diamond can go down just with a rap song. We saw it happen with platinum. Platinum don't do nothing.
Yeah, don't nobody wear platinum no more.
Yeah, we saw Jay-Z say, fuck gold, wear platinum. Everybody went out and bought platinum. Platinum don't do nothing. You can't reach that shit. Ain't nothing.
Hey, look, let me say this about platinum. Boy, this is real life shit. Think about it. All the rappers had on platinum. Now, every time you hear somebody steal a catalytic converter off somebody's car, it's because it's a little piece of platinum in there. See how that works? From a rapper's neck to now they cutting the muffle off your goddamn car for a piece of platinum to get $90. And we was made to think that was something. Same point.
And that piece of platinum is good for a catalytic converter. They'll go up under your car to get that bitch, and you walk around with catalytic converter material on, whereas gold and silver gonna hold its value. Like right now, gold and silver is something that people should be buying. Grandma and them used to buy the silver dishes, the silverware, and guess what? They didn't even eat with it and polished it once a year. You know why? Because if push come to shove, that silver did two things. When you walked in my house and you looked in that curio cabinet and you saw that china and that silver, you knew I had something. You knew I was worth something. But grandma said, push come to shove, we'll pawn this shit if we need to. Think about that, Trav. Just those small little things in the black home. When you go into the black home, there's always a room with a nice table that nobody don't eat off. You know what my granddaddy told me? He said the reason we got that table because as when we grew up not even eating at a table. So that long wood and oak table and that china and that silverware that's set on that table that nobody eats off, that was they Jordans back in the day. That curio cabinet, that light in it that you go in there and you say, Grandma, why we don't ever eat? That was their Jordans. But that shit was sitting there and it won't go rot like no goddamn Jordan. That shit was going to be pawned. That china had gold on it. That china had silver on it. I never forget one time I blew up a microwave looking as a little kid, not want to wash the dish, then snuck in there and got one of my grandma's dishes out that curio cabinet, put it in the microwave, and that shit started sparking. That shit had real metal in it. That plate had real gold on it.
Come on.
So those things we have to understand, but we ascribe so much value to things to show what we've attained, and I think it has a lot to do with, and I hate to say it, it goes back to slavery, being a second-class citizen, to look up and say, hey, white man, I worked hard and I'm going out here and I'm gonna buy me a goddamn Stetson hat and I'm gonna show you that my money just as green as yours.
Come on.
And it became a thing. You know, you seen that thing they showed in the 50s, how to sell to a Negro. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
And what the guy said, don't never offer the Negro a lesser name brand because he'll think you disrespecting him. He'll run on out of the store. He said, always offer the Negro the most expensive thing. And ain't that how we are today? And there's a psychology behind that. And I want to understand it. I want to understand how we can get up and say, I got a horse on my shirt. I got on a t-shirt. I got on just a fucking t-shirt, just like Javon, but I got a horse on mine. Like Kanye West. This nigga selling regular shirts for $1,000. And,
Man,
and it don't even got a label to say, hey, look, this the Kanye shirt.
yeah. I think it's simple though, Javon. I don't think it's deep. I think it's we looking for love in all the wrong places. We constantly look for validation, love, God, acceptance. We look for it on the outside. We really think it's on the outside. You get what I'm saying, man?
So do you think when you say we look in love, are you saying that we think if we get the material, people will love us, or you're saying we feel loved ourselves when we get a shirt? I mean, explain what you mean we're looking
I'm
for love.
saying, I'm saying, close your eyes and tell me what it looked like.
It's
How do
dark.
you see it? And I'm talking about God, I'm talking about your future, I'm talking about everything you pray for. Can you really see it when you close your eyes? And some people really can't see it. Like I say, some people say God said, do it really sound like you? I mean, is there something inside of you that really believes that it's going to manifest on the out? If it ain't there, man, you think it's out there somewhere. You think it's somebody telling you to come here. You think it's somebody making something for you. If I get seen with this on, then maybe they gonna look at me like I'm one of them. It's all, and this shit deep. I don't care how broke. I don't care how rich. I watch people get out of $1 million cars damn near and go in a building and was nobody until they got back to their car. I watch it. You can't buy it. And if you just, and let's see, this ain't deep. It's simple. It's just simply on the inside. It's happening right now in a kindergarten class. If a parent don't know how to teach a child who they are before they get to the world, and they expect the world to teach them who they is right now in kindergarten. It's a kindergarten child that knows my mama and daddy dropped me off, and they've been teaching me who I am for 5 years, and I'm ready to show this class who I am. It makes a difference right now. And if it don't change, I don't give a fuck what you buy.
Yeah, man, it's true, because you got kids that go to school and they really like Superman shoes, and they really love Spider-Man, and they really, really, really love goddamn Batman. And after a week at school, they come home and say, I don't like Batman shoes no more. Like, you're getting teased for wearing the things that children love. Some little kid that has been corrupted will tell your kid, you don't have on Michael Jordans, and your kid said, what's fucking Michael Jordan, and who is that? Never seen Michael Jordan play, don't know how Michael Jordan look. It's a man out here right now that can go to Walmart and get his children 4-5 pair of goddamn Batman, Spider-Man shoes, who the kid really love, and his baby mama said, you don't get out of here with that fucking Spider-Man shit. Well, he loves Spider-Man. I want my kid to have some Jordans. And it's really, really, really stopping parenting what you can and what you can't get for your child. There are parents that actually cry. There are women that sell pussy. There are men that are killing themselves because they can't give their child a fucking Christmas that they think their child deserves. Literally going into debt when that fucking January income tax should be the check that you saved to get you up for the year. That's how my wife taught me that. I said, we ain't buying that. She said, hell no, this check, this is insurance for the year. This goddamn income tax, this is insurance for the year. Anything can go down. We ain't going, no, hell no. When it's people that spend all their money for Christmas and then have to recover with their income tax, and they right back broke. And all the while, the kids sitting back looking like these motherfuckers, Jordans, when you go to school and you wear them 3 days, and then it's like, because you ain't got something else, now you're getting teased because you wear the same goddamn pair of J's every day.
Yeah. I remember seeing the stories where single mom will sacrifice and go get them Jordans, and they put them on their babies. and they babies don't know no better to know that I'm just a little boy and I'm finna go play. And they mama turn their head for a minute and he done hit that goddamn dirt and that dust hard. Being a little boy and not understanding the value and sacrifice of some goddamn shoes. So when you understand, even in your child, what matters to who matters, you'll say loving them become easy. You doing that for your own ego. Now you ready to whoop the little boy ass cause he done went out there and dirtied up them shoes when he ain't know no better. And he ain't supposed to know no better than that. But like you said, that's the psychological bullshit. And I'm telling you right now, all over America, it's a real percentage of children that got their ass whooped for dirtying up them shoes on the first day they put them on. And them ass whoopings gonna impact them because they gonna see a value in them shoes to put a something that ain't never meant to be in a goddamn thing, and they cultivation of value and internal love, self-value. So this shit is real. So just pay attention to who paying attention. I ain't knocking it. I got teenage children. They want it, but they gonna understand how to put shit in its proper perspective and context. And let me say this in closing, because I know I gotta go. But let me tell you this, man. The difference between real gold and fake gold, what we call fool's gold, is time. Fool's gold will always fade in time. Like I told you, I hooked up my car like a dope boy couldn't. And I knew one thing that was gonna show mine to be real. Mine got old in my backyard. It didn't fade in time. And I can pull it out and polish it and bring her ass back anytime I want to. But I watch people selling their souls for food gold. I watch people sell their soul to the game for about 3 or 4 years, a local celebrity and fame. Sad to say, story in the same. Fed got him. Hit that nigga 25 years to life. While he locked down, another nigga was fucking his wife, raising his kids. Nigga had tight cars, big house, a whole collection of Jordans. They went to the highest bid. So you better know what's real and what ain't.
And I'm gonna say this before we get out of here. This some real life shit. My mama didn't even buy me Jordans, but we had school clothes and goddamn play clothes. And I learned that my school clothes was more valuable than my play clothes, and all them bitches came from Roses.
That's real shit. That's real shit. That's real shit.
Hell yeah. Hey, man, y'all already know what time it is. Y'all stay tuned in, tapped in, turned on. This is Tough Talk Tuesdays with me and my guy, Trav. Stay tuned tomorrow for me and Miss Carla for Brandon Raven Wednesdays. And, man, like I said, man, I think about that shit all the time. Like, goddamn, all them clothes came from the same. How is these school clothes and these play clothes? Motherfucker, because them was your school clothes last year. They your goddamn play clothes now. You better not get them goddamn school clothes.
Hey, let me tell you something, man. Mine came from Kmart. And the only thing I had to tell my mama was, please don't buy me no Wilson's, cause they had that real thick thing come down the side.
Goddamn that gold, goddamn that gold. Listen,
you couldn't iron them right. And I say, Mama,
iron that out.
Will you please buy me the Route 66?
Yeah,
boy, I was a Route 66 guy.
Route 66 and Wranglers. Look, I'll never forget before we get out of here.
Yeah, Wranglers.
Hey, look, you remember when the goddamn used jean suits where we was wearing the jean suits came out with the jacket and the pants? Boy, I went to Kmart and got the goddamn Wrangler versions with the black and the blue and the stone wash blue, the acid wash. I put them bitches on layaway. Boy, I went to school, and when I tell you, let me tell you about value. I was probably 6th grade working in tobacco. My brother took me to Kmart. I put all this shit on layaway. Then I went out and got me some Troops from New York High Fashion. I got me some British Nikes and a pair of black top Reeboks. And boy, let me tell you something. When I went to school, and this is when I learned what fun is, just those sneakers and them goddamn cheap Kmart jean jackets and with the I was the man for
Come
about
on,
3
man.
weeks.
Come
Because I
on.
had on some decent shoes. Nobody thought to think, these ain't Lee's.
See the
These
game,
ain't
man.
Levi's. You remember the Levi suits
Come
came
on,
out, the
man.
Levi
See the
jeans
game,
suit?
man.
I had on the Wrangler ones, and nobody never asked because I had them goddamn British Nikes on down there. You remember LA Gears was some shit at one time. You remember that?
Come on, man.
LA Gears with the lights on the bottom. We wanted them too. We give brands they motherfucking name. You know what I'm saying? But man, I appreciate you, Trav. I'm gonna get out of here, man. I had to say that about them goddamn school clothes. All them shits came from the same place, but you better not fuck these up, man. I appreciate you, man. Love you, bro.
Love you too, man.